Welcome to the SCPI boys basketball video from our new look studio. Alex,
boy.
we got a nice backdrop, some better lighting. Oh man, is this exciting. And it's also exciting because we're into championship season. Some people are going to win some rings this week.
Yes, sir. Moving up in the world, and people are asking us, who do you got? Westchester, Fairfax. Who do you got? Granada Hills, Uni. Relax. We're going to get to it. Ton of things to talk about. We got some girls matchups to talk about. We got Divisions 1 all the way down to Division 5 to talk about. Tons of guys. Like you mentioned, half of these teams are going to be getting sized for rings in a couple of weeks. How exciting.
Incredible. Let's start with boys open division basketball. We checked out the semifinals at Venice High on Saturday. In the first game, Westchester 69, Birmingham 53. It was closer, though, for three quarters.
Yeah.
The score kind of got away from Birmingham at the end. David Elliott and Corey Cofield, that's as good as a sophomore
duo
as you will see in the country. So I was blown away with them, as you are every game really you watch. And congrats to Corey for winning West Valley League Player of the Year and David Elliott for being on the first team. KJ Allen was in foul trouble for Westchester, which really allowed Birmingham to hang around. But in the end, Kamani Pollard hit some nice shots, and Jay Turley, I thought, elevated in the second half. And that was enough for Westchester to get the win once Allen was able to come back after getting into that foul trouble.
Yeah, I think Jordan Brinson deserves a little bit of love here, too. He had
Yep.
a triple-double, 15 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists. Westchester, when we talked about the game against Birmingham, we said that team, sometimes they can't keep pace. The three-point shooters, if they're not on, they're really going to struggle to score points. That night against Birmingham, they were on. Jeremiah Turley, as you mentioned, was shooting the ball well. Kamani Pollard. And then Jordan Brinson, of course, he finished with 15. You talk about KJ Allen getting in foul trouble. Corey Cofield got in some foul trouble as well. Both those guys.
So did David, David.
Yeah, they were all picking up early first half fouls, and that game was a dogfight. That first half, really tough, scrappy matchup. I was really impressed. You talked about Corey Cofield and David Elliott. They're sophomores. They've got 2 more seasons. If they stick at Birmingham, I like Birmingham to go to the Open Division Final, maybe win one of these next couple of years, because they get a really good set of sophomores.
I agree. It's going to be a bright future for Birmingham for sure. And one quick point about Kamani Pollard, he wasn't hitting shots early in the game, and you could see he was frustrated. He was getting down a little bit. For him to kind of overcome that and make some in the second half, always great to see. So Westchester advances to the championship, where they will play Fairfax for a third time because Fairfax beat Washington 84-74. Alex, on my notes here, first quarter blitzkrieg from Fairfax. They had 28 after 1. Ethan Anderson was hitting some ridiculous threes. We saw Ronald Mitchell dunk the ball in a really beautiful slam. We'll talk about that in the dunk of the week. That first quarter, everyone for Fairfax was hitting shots. Dinwiddie as well as Robert McRae was just really crazy to see because for the final 3 quarters, Washington outscored Fairfax, but it was the first quarter that killed them. And after the game, Fairfax coach Steve Bake, he talked about how he was really impressed with how Washington didn't fold. Noel Scott had a triple-double in the game, but when you allow 28 first quarter points, tough to come back from that. Washington couldn't do it.
Yeah, in my notes I have game looked over. O-V-E-R in caps.
We were talking about that.
Dude, Ethan Anderson had 14 first quarter points and looked like he was about to put the team on his back. And he pretty much did. I mean, Ethan Anderson, like we talk about all season long, I think he is the best player here in the city section.
I agree.
You got to give love to Rob McRae. Keith Dinwiddie hit some big shots. How about Dalen Williams? He was able to control the low post. He was soaking up fouls, soaking up rebounds. A big reason why I think Fairfax was able to contain this game. Because as you mentioned, Noel Scott, a huge triple-double. He was a force down the stretch. Hanson Clark was hitting some big threes. So Washington did not quit. And, of course, they beat Birmingham in that third-place game. So it looks like they've got some momentum heading into the state playoffs. But huge win for them, at least in the third-place game.
And our friend Eric Sondheimer tweeted out, no matter what division you play in your section, the state tournament, you could be in any division. It's not based on where you play in your section. So Washington could be in Division 2. And if they have that opportunity, they could potentially make a state championship run, just like View Park did a year ago in Division 4. So love what we're seeing from Washington. I'm sure they would have loved to have redone that first quarter because they really believed that they could beat Fairfax. They came out a little flat, and that really hurt them. Noel Scott, though, was so good for them. Okay, Alex, the big game. We've seen it twice already. Fairfax has beaten Westchester both times. First time at Westchester was a little closer, but Fairfax really was in control for the majority of the game. Second game, Keith Dinwiddie goes off. Fairfax was in control for the whole game. Ed Azam got a technical foul, and it just kind of got away from him a little bit. Was there anything that Westchester did on Saturday that made you think, okay, maybe this third time will be different?
I think the third time will be a different story than what we've seen, but the same ending. I have talked about it. I said if Fairfax and Westchester meet for the third time, I know that old cliche. It's hard to beat a team 3 times. I'm still picking Fairfax. I know if Keith Dinwiddie, he can't score 34 points every night, right? Realistically, that kid's not going to get that hot every single game. But the offensive firepower that Fairfax has, they have 4 guards that can put the ball in the hoop, that can score, that can get to the lane and convert from the free throw line. And I was impressed. Dalen Williams, he controlled KJ Allen. He made him go outside, made him start taking outside threes once they got behind. Really, really impressed with their low post game. So I think Fairfax, yes, I know it's tough to beat them 3 times. I think they go 3-0 against the Commons.
I have Fairfax too, but just like we saw with Westchester Saturday, say Williams, their big guy, gets into a little bit of foul trouble like KJ Allen did, that will allow Westchester to stay in the game because they really don't have another player who can guard Allen. Robert McRae will try his best and is a good defender, but that's a mismatch.
Yeah.
That's something that Westchester will kind of want to utilize. I got to give McRae credit. I thought he played defensively really well against Allen when Williams would go out, but I think Edizam would take that matchup because McRae is more of a forward than a center.
And you're giving up 4 or 5 inches in that matchup too.
Yeah, so Dalen Williams has been my X factor for Fairfax all year. He's taken an enormous step forward compared to where he was last year, and in this championship game, that's going to stay the same. I think if he has a good game, he is able to rebound the ball as we've seen him do this year, and then outlet pass to the guards and not turn the ball over. He had a little bit of an issue with that in that semifinal game. If he kind of cleans that up, stays out of foul trouble, defends Allen well like we know he can, I think Fairfax will win because, man, if he's putting in those minutes, we know the guards are going to be putting in minutes like they've done all year. And Fairfax only has 1 loss this year. They're 26-1. That's one of the best teams in the country. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid for Fairfax, man.
As you should.
Yeah.
I think they got a good shot to go on a state run as well. We got one of the questions in our Instagram Live. They asked who stands in the way of a state championship run for Fairfax. They're going to go up against, if they get into that open division, if they win the open division here in the city section, get into that open division for the CIF State, which I assume that they will, they're going to face Sierra Canyon, Rancho Christian, Corona Centennial. Of course, Corona Centennial was the one team that they lost to. So you want to make sure, if you get into that open division, bring your A game because you will face the best teams in the state.
I think Fairfax will be the 4 seed if they win the open division championship because you got to, I think, put Sierra Canyon ahead of them clearly.
And Rancho Christian.
And then Rancho Christian, who beat Sierra Canyon in the regular season. And then Corona Centennial, which is Fairfax's 1 loss this year. So you slate them at 4. I think Bishop Montgomery gets 5 after surviving the open division pool play in the southern section. And I believe they'll lose to Sierra Canyon in that championship. So they'll be 5 and look for a Fairfax Bishop Montgomery first-round state game. That's kind of been my pick for a little bit.
Fairfax at Awanda, Fairfax Bishop Montgomery. Either way, they're going to face a really, really good team right out of the gate. And in the second round, you could see a Sierra Canyon.
Into Division I, we were at Birmingham High Friday to check out those games, Alex. So in the first one, classic. University 51, Fremont 50. It looked like University, they were up 9 in the fourth quarter, might have an easy time. Fremont fights back, and it's David Cheatham, a pass to Jermaine Odell, who lays in the basketball with about 10 seconds left. Chris Bradford sprints up the floor, tries to get a game winner for the second week in a row, and it falls just short.
Just off the front iron.
And we've talked so much about Fremont, so we really felt bad for them there. But University, they deserve this win. We've kind of been writing them off all year. Steve Ackerman did an incredible job coaching. But the takeaway in this game, David Cheatham is one of the best players in the city section. He was really head and shoulders above anyone else on Fremont in that game. Only a junior. Man, oh man, is he a special talent.
Yeah, and we talked to Ackerman after the game, and he was like, in that final possession, the entire stadium knew who was bringing the ball up the floor. We knew who was going to get the touch. It's David Cheatham. But David, credit to him. He was a heady pass. He was able to see Jermaine, was open down in the low post, gave him an easy layup. Right? Instead of a contested mid-range 2, which a lot of guys probably would have taken, he sees it, gives the bounce pass to Jermaine, and Jermaine finishes. He had a nice game on his own, right? So we talk a ton about David Cheatham. You got to give some credit to Jermaine Odell. Got to give some credit to some of the other guys. And the game plan from Coach Ackerman, slow the pace. Don't let Fremont get out and run. They got the athletes. They're bigger than us. They're faster than us. If you let them get out and run, they're going to crush us. Ackerman's game plan, a fantastic, fantastic choice, and a great implementation. They were really able to slow it down. They limited the possessions, and Fremont got frustrated. I think
they did.
In that 9-point stretch where University had that lead, there was a minute there where I thought Fremont could fold. Right, this could be the end of the season right here credit to Danny Williams and that staff, called a timeout, brought the huddle in. This game's not over. You got to stick in it. And they were able to go on that final push and just a heartbreaking end. Chris Bradford, as you mentioned, had that one look just off the front iron, but still a very good season for Fremont.
Yep, for the second year in a row, University makes the D1 championship. Remember, last year they fell to Washington Prep. Maybe this year things go differently, but they're facing a buzzsaw. They're facing Granada Hills, who beat View Park 73-54. And Alex, we saw that game. View Park, they have some athletes. They have guys who were keeping them in the game. Talking about Christian Johnson and Corey Curtis, two sophomores who were shooting the lights out for View Park. But Granada Hills, the lead for them was always 9, 11, 12. It was always pretty comfortable, despite View Park making some crazy shots. And it's going to take a really special performance from David Cheatham, a coaching performance from Steve Ackerman, and just the whole uni team to knock off this Granada Hills team, because I think that they've been the best team in the Division I playoffs from the get-go. And man, oh man, were we impressed with Jesse Benute's 27 points in that semifinal win. Yeah. That was incredible. What he was able to do from the point guard spot really blew me away.
Yeah, he's 5'11" and one of the best finishers in the city section. I know I talk a ton about Ethan Anderson.
He gets up, man.
As we should, but the kid can get up. He can get to the rim. He knows how to finish. Really crafty. He's a left-handed shooter, but is comfortable going to his right. I saw him in a game against Campbell Hall. He injured his left shooting elbow, had to shoot from his right, still dropped, I think, 20 or 25 points. So the kid is a dynamic scorer, and Granada Hills, when we talked to Coach Ackerman about it, he's like, I don't know, man. They're a Princeton, USC, Vanderbilt offense all rolled into one, right? We don't know how to stop them, but this is a well-oiled machine. Coach Loperena was not Coach of the Year last year for no good reason. Really dominant force in just to get what he gets out of those guards, his ability to get the most out of every single player. There's so many athletes on that team. I would not expect if this game got ugly in the first half. I think Granada might win this game by double digits.
I like Jason Glass in that game, another guard for Granada Hills. He impressed me. So you made your pick right there, and I agree. And, we heard it on Twitter a little bit after the Fremont game that Uni won. You didn't pick us. Yeah. Eat your words. Here we are eating our words. But I think Granada, if it was Fremont against Granada, I would have picked Granada.
I'd pick Granada against anybody in this bracket.
Yeah, although
I picked Fremont. Yeah.
But hey, man, they made a semifinal. That's about all you can ask. So we both have Granada and we both have Fairfax in the two top divisions in the city section. Best of the rest. Let's hit on some other divisions and stuff really we haven't talked about too much this year. Girls Open Division. We saw Westchester survive a scare from Narbonne. We saw Granada Hills survive a scare from El Camino Real.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, Alex. Granada Hills, they made the championship game a year ago in girls hoops. They fell to Fairfax. I think they might fall again to Fairfax's arch rival, Westchester. I'm taking the Comets in this one because Granada Hills, I was not really impressed with their offense in that semifinal game. I know Haley Burfield is a great shooter. Yep. She was a little off in that one. And I like what I saw from Westchester overcoming a really great Narbonne team. So give me the Comets in that championship.
Hey, shoot till you're hot, and when you're hot, keep shooting. Haley Burfield, if you were tuned into our Instagram live, you said you heard me say I really like Haley Burfield in this game. I think she's got handles. She can shoot from pretty much anywhere on the floor. And when a girl like that gets hot, some of these teams just don't have an answer, right? It takes a while to get back up to speed.
If she's making her shots, I don't think Westchester has an answer. I agree.
So in that scenario, I think she can be a really dynamic shooter. And because I'm picking her to get hot, I'm picking Granada.
All right, in Division II for the boys, Eagle Rock, the number 1 seed, beat Banning, the number 13 seed, in double overtime. We had 2 double overtime games
Thrillers
in this bracket. That was a 72-61 final. So number 1, Eagle Rock punched their ticket to the championship. On the other side of the bracket, number 2, Kennedy 69. Number 3, Manual Arts, my guys, so close. They were down 13, made a big run. Double overtime loss. It was 69-66. I think the Valley Mission League is going to clean up in these championships. I'm taking Kennedy, jumping on the Alex Star bandwagon.
Yeah, see, I had Kennedy when you had Manual Arts. I thought Kennedy, this is a talented team.
They gave Kennedy a hell of a game.
Kennedy beat just about everybody in this bracket by double digits. They're one of the best teams here. I really believe that they were going to be a champion, and that's why I picked them. I'm sticking with it. The 2 seed beating the 1.
In Division 3, number 4 Roybal, undefeated number 4 Roybal, 18-0. They beat Southeast, the number 1 seed in the bracket, 42-41. And I know Royball's undefeated, but on my note sheet here, it was a shocker. Southeast won Division 3 a year ago.
Yeah, we thought they'd clean up too.
Returned everyone. It looked like they were going to walk to another championship. Roybal says not so fast.
Oh, boy.
And man, that was a crazy semifinal. 1-point, low-scoring game. On the other side, Pauley. Everyone's been talking to us. Pauley shouldn't be in Division 2. They're too good. Pauley. They beat Hawkins, number 11 seed. Hawkins gave them a good game. It was 70-67. But my pick, Roybal, the perfect season ends in the championship game. Give me Pauley. I like him.
Clock strikes midnight for the Titans. I think the Poly Parrots, they take them down. I think it's a double-digit win. As you mentioned, the Parrots are
so
too
you're
good.
giving Roy Ball nothing.
What
about the Southeast wind?
Sorry, man. Sometimes, like I say, the clock is going to strike midnight. Lightning doesn't strike twice. Give me any cliche you want. I think Poly wins this one. Like we mentioned, too good for Division 3. They're going to win this one by double digits.
In Division 4, Alex, number 1, Arleta, a team that we kind of wrote off a little bit. They beat number 5, Jefferson, my champion, 66-55. On the other side, number 2, San Fernando, 72. Number 3, Maywood Academy, your pick, 67. So it's an Arleta, San Fernando, 1-2 Division 4 championship. What did I say? I'm riding with the Valley Mission League. I have San Fernando in this one, just like I have Kennedy in D2.
Well, I'm going to revert back to something we've talked about all season long. If you're one of the best teams in the bracket, maybe we've overlooked you. I think this is the time to give Arleta some love. We've talked a ton about some of these other teams in the bracket. I know San Fernando's pretty good, but you're the number 1 seed for a reason. I think Arleta takes this one.
Finally, a disagreement on the boys' side. We disagreed on the Open Division girls, but that's been it. Division 5. What the hell happened in D5? Number 8, Rivera, 49. Number 13, Maces, 48. So we got an 8 seed in the championship. And then on the other end, number 2, Math and Science College Prep. It's a name that takes up the whole line on the scoreboard. They scored 53 points to beat Sun Valley Magnet by 13. It was a 53-40 final. It's got to be Math and Science College Prep, right?
Oh, yeah. Math and Science College Prep, I don't know what's in the water over there, but the girls are in Division 5 Championship and the boys are in the Division 5 Championship. Keep doing what you're doing. Math and Science College Prep, an absolute mouthful, but they're going to be D5 champions.
A few other segments to get to. Let's hit the dunk of the week. Alex, we saw a lot this week. KJ Allen threw a nice one down. Ethan Anderson threw a nice one down. But for me, I thought the 2 best dunks this week, one came from Corey Cofield and a nice feed from David Elliott.
The lob.
Something we've seen before.
The jam.
And then personally, my favorite this week was Ronald Mitchell on the fast break. Kid's probably the most athletic player in the city section. He gets up, it's a tomahawk slam. And Corey Cofield and David Elliott, we've seen it before. I hadn't seen Mitchell do that in-game before, so that was my dunk of the week. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Thoughts on some of the dunks we've seen?
I want to put on a city section dunk contest. We had this idea in our Instagram live show. If we could get an all-star weekend, give me an all-star game, I want the skills challenge, and then I want a dunk contest. That would be so much fun, and we could get to see some of these guys really throw it down and get creative. Because in-game, Chris Page, the 360 in-game, you're not topping that. But in-game, you just can't get that creative. You don't want to risk losing the possession. You want to get the points. But in a dunk contest, get weird, man. In a dunk contest, I think I might pick Ronald Mitchell.
Okay. Do you like his dunk the best
his dunk, I like the lob in the jam just because
All right.
I'm a little partial to alley-oops.
Co-dunks of the week then. That's fine.
Yeah, Ronald Mitchell throwing it down.
That one brought the house down. Okay, so those were the 2 best, and by now you've seen them a bunch. Game balls. I got to give mine to Jesse Benute this week. Am I stepping on your toes?
No, Jesse Benute deserves one.
Good. 27 points in the 73-54 win over View Park. We talked about how good he was earlier, but man, he can finish at the rim. He's a little guy.
Yeah.
He can finish at the rim, both hands, really controls that offense well. He has the keys to that Don Loperena offense, and it's a good spot to be. I think they win D1. I think they make a decent run in the state playoffs because that team is a machine, and Benute is the leader. He gets the game ball from me this week.
Oftentimes, we don't give game balls to guys that are on losing teams, but I have to give a shout-out to Noel Scott. He had a triple-double against Fairfax, and usually a triple-double, what is it? It's points, it's rebounds, it's assists. Noel Scott had 10 steals in this game to get that final leg of the triple-double. This kid is a monster down low. He was guarding a lot of 4. The guy can shoot. He gets to the line and converts. Can finish pretty much anywhere within 4 or 5 feet. Doesn't matter what the shot is. He's really creative going to his right and to his left. So triple-double in a losing effort, but a fantastic game. Noel Scott, you get my game ball.
We'll see at LA Southwest College Saturday for a bunch of these championships, and there are some championships throughout the week. D4 and D5 actually tip tonight, so we got to get this show up online as quick as possible. He's Alex Garr. I'm Connor Morissette. We'll see you next time.